All right, in this video, I'm going to make these two landscape rocks here. Basically, I start out with a cardboard frame. The frame is consisting of cardboard. Well, I cut them up and I use them as a frame that you're seeing here as an overall view of the shape of the rock I'm going to make in this video. Usually, after I make the frame, I just skin it with cardboard, but you're about to see me finish up with the cardboard L's and start to use cardboard, which is normally what I do, but this made it more rigid. So again, just getting a basic shape of cardboard to start the process out. Okay, I've just mixed up an S-type cement, which means it has the lime. It's a premix mortar that I got from Lowe's. I've made it up to where it's, you know, the old days of sticking a trowel and putting it upside down to where the mud stays on it. That's kind of a viscosity test, and that's just perfect. So what I'm going to do is just to give this, because right now it's not screwed, in order to make it stay on the table better, or if you're in the ground, if you go around the perimeter with just a throw of mud, it will be, it kind of stabilizes it, won't move. Okay, it's been 12 hours since I mudded these. Yesterday, it's now morning, and it's about 40 degrees out. I think our high is going to be about 54. That's what it was yesterday. Not real high temperatures, ambient temperatures to be making mud and get it to cure in a short period of time. But I got to say this, even with the retarded cure rate that they're experiencing, this is a tough rock today. 1/3 of an inch coat of regular mortar, no additives to strengthen it, to help it cure. No, this is structural today. I could actually texture this and be done with it. That's not my intent. My intent is to put another coat of mesh on there with the mud. I'm going to have then 2 3/8. Now I'm at 3/4 of an inch. But I'm going to turn these over and show you that they're structural right now. 12 hours later, that's ridiculous, okay? Cement does not receive its strength for 75% at 7 days. This is not even a full 24 hours yet, and I'm confident that I can move this. So it's not advisable that we do this, but for the sake of the video, I always like to show and demonstrate the techniques that we have of that mesh being one variation to what mortar, this is just a regular mortar, but that mesh reinforces it all, grabs it all, and makes it stay together. Another technique that I'll use is a poor man's skin. Say you don't have any rock skins, we'll get you some tin foil. And again, there's varieties of different types of tin foil, to, you know, thin gauge that you buy the cheap stuff, to a heavier gauge that you buy at the supermarket, to a restaurant gauge tin foil that's a lot heavier. And each one of those gives you a different variety of texture. But right for now, just to make this easy, I've just taken some household tin foil. Now, right now, if I put that on there, I'll get a few little wrinkles. There are no wrinkles in it right now, but just by scrunching that a little bit, now there's some wrinkles. If I scrunch it a lot, it's going to be a lot. Now watch this. Just literally putting that on there, pushing it into there. And remember, if I leave it sit for this to dry a little bit, it's going to be better. And a lot of times, we'll take the trowel, no, the paintbrush, and just literally brush that in. And if you want a fractured edge, you can fold that. And there you go. This is a texture that will look like rock every time. And again, let that sit for a little bit and you can brush that out. I'm not going to do anything more with that right there. And you're not going to use that again. You're going to wad it up and throw it away. So that's a little texture. I'm going to get a little relief. So far, on this side and this edge, this is all I'm going to do to this flank. And tomorrow, when we get it dry, we're going to touch it up a little bit more. We can always do more. It's not finished just because of that. Tomorrow I might knock it down a little bit. It'll look a little better. There's a little bit of slag there. So when it's wet, I'm now going to stick it in to where it's touching. And staying in there is what we're after, is the embedment, embedding this into the rock, into the mortar. And then letting it dry. Just for an hour or so, maybe longer because it is cold today. Now we're going to take a little of this and just wad it up wet And I'm just going to imprint that. I got some rock texture on there right now. Was just taking a ratty old brush, and if you don't have one, you can make it by just repeatedly hitting this on the edge to where it's a little messed up. Now, dipping it in some water and coming by and just stimpling this a little will take some of the trowel marking out of it. And you're saying that doesn't look like rock, maybe? I don't agree with you. This is a whole different technique of texture. It's a stimpling, a dimpling, whatever you want to call it, but this one area is going to be its own. I'm not going to pull this off right away, so I'm just going to leave it. A little splunchy there. Again, this is a very thin amount of mud, so I'm not going to get a lot of imprint characteristics in it, but I'm not really caring if I do. So now, just literally paintbrushing this smooth to where it's in the mud. Now I just left that kind of, all I'm doing now is what I call a vacuum pull. I'm sticking the trowel into it and I'm just letting it pull up. And that's how I'm texturing this top. And tomorrow I'll knock it down and maybe even just brush it out a little bit right now. This is really rough, but that's okay. You'll see when we get all said and done, it's got rock texture. And that's all that I'm after. So I'm going to spin this around. And again, tomorrow I can do more to this. I can actually add some more mud to it in certain places, in certain manners of technique and process. But right now, that's got texture all over it. And I've got a variety of different, the throne, the stipple, the tinfoil, the skin. We're just going to let that be and take a look at it tomorrow. We got to make this thing finished tomorrow. When it looks good, then I'll be happy. The rock is real dry. This one's dry from the splatter texture, and this is the imprint, we call it. And I'm just going to go through now and try and pull this off, which is going to be fun. Down here, I didn't really crumple it up much as I did here. This piece is going to be the hardest. This one is coming off, except that's got some good texture. I mean, right in here, over in there, where the tinfoil's like a knife and it embeds in there. When you have that normally and you let it dry an hour or two and you pull that out, it really makes good relief. This is pretty gnarly right here. The rest of this, yesterday before I left, I took a paintbrush and I just kind of blended it in a little bit. The top, all this still needs to be what I call knocked down. We're still going to play it. Now these two, we're going to take those off next and they won't be a problem getting out. That's almost a cast right there. Even that said, that's pretty good imagery right there. And it peels right off. Now these lines here, I'm going to soften that. It looks like a start and stop point, but I'm going to soften that. I'm going to soften this whole thing. When we get done, we'll get the look on it one more time. In the areas that you have too much, you can just take this and just tip it, knock it. So I'm looking for anything that's really a protrusion sticking out in an odd manner. Is I'll take, this is just a little sanding disc. It's only a quarter of the disc. It's got like sandpaper, but it's on a plastic, not paper. I'm going to do the same thing and knock down some of the roughness and then blow it off. I've got my three basic tools right here. That's the line that I'm not real fond of. It's a little too pronounced. So just taking this a little bit, and you can knock that down and chip it where it's tapered into that. And now that break looks much more natural. In fact, a lot of times, like this was the edge that I more trialed. It's not real sharp, but just running this like this across here and knock that down a little and roughen it to where it looks more weathered, you know, as a stone would, a rock would. So literally, I just go by with whatever's in my hand and just knock down the roughness. Okay, these rocks are not bone dry. They'd probably be better to be. It's better to have them dry because when you put this bonding agent on a dry surface, it sucks into the surface. And if its porosity is filled with water, it won't suck that. So it doesn't bond as well, frankly. So I'm just going to put this bonding coat on. Now the viscosity of this mud is like a paint. And what we're going to do is paintbrush this on and seal the surface against water intrusion. Also, we're giving it an outside garment that's synthetic. It's actually a plastic if you look at the acrylic, and it's no longer cement, and it's got no sand in it, so it's not going to ever produce efflorescence. All right, so we got the 2 coats of Hydro Seal all completed. You know I said we're going to put another one on. I will. And as far as that, I'm done. I'm going to put these rocks out there on the side of the bank where the rock wall is, and this spring when I texture and repair those other ones, I'll stain it all together, I'll seal it all together, it'll be a done deal. But I wanted to show you the cardboard rock technology, and this is now done, a granite and more of a fractured rock. And there's a whole myriad of images that you can make with a lot of different techniques that I offer. So if you liked my video, please subscribe to my channel, share my videos, and like my videos. And if you need something, give me a call. I'm here. I just hope that you continue to watch my videos, and thanks for watching. Bye.